Hey ho! This is Draco354 here, and I have a very special video. Kind of. Not really, but never mind. So we're here in my Redstone world. Now this isn't my normal Redstone world, this is the Redstone world I have on PlayStation. And I hardly ever come on this world. The last time I came on this world was when I was doing a tutorial on this thing, which was my secret entrance within a sandstone wall. It was a bit bigger than this when I did the tutorial, but I've compacted it down to. But anyway, the reason we're here is because I just want to do like a little sort of tour video of this world, because I have a lot of interesting redstone projects, and most of these have been a lot of like concept ideas and innovative ideas, not original ideas, but sort of concepts that have already been done that me and my friend Hairystar, who is right here, have tried to sort of work out and sort of build. It's mostly been me doing the redstone because Hairystar's not that experienced in redstone. However, I've been trying to teach him the basics, which is why I've like set up this thing here. Now, this is like a long row tutorial stuff, so this teaches you about the redstone signal's 15 block length limit. Then this is teaches you all about the logic gate. So you have AND, OR, NOR, NAND, NOR, XOR, XNOR. Here we have a SR latch, D latches, and this is the D flip-flop. This is the silent T flip-flop. We have an oscillator here. We have a counter. Probably one of the most compact counters you can make, and it's infinitely expandable. Randomizers. We got the comparator clock demonstration, and how it needs the output to be 2 blocks away rather than 1 block. Which I never really understood that, but okay. Pulse extender, my favourite one, this one, and how you can use all the more comparators to extend it. We got some monostable circuits. 2 of the most commonly used designs. These standard one, and then this is like one of the first ones. Falling edge monostable circuit, which sends the pulse when the piston moves back up. The RS NOR latch, that's my favourite design, that one. And the T flip-flop. Also, this is my... actually no, I have another favourite, but this is my second favourite design. Yeah, we'll add a little to it. I did spend some time on this board a while ago when I did tutorials on things like T flip-flops, RS NOR latches, bud switches. I mean, I have an example of a bud switch right behind it, actually. Here's a really interesting one, which I really like it. So, yes. you want to take me somewhere. Yeah, right. So, while I was, actually, I'll give you a bit of a backstory, first of all. So, here, me and Hairystar, we created this board of suggestions, redstone challenges and stuff for us to work on. And it's mainly been me who's done the redstone challenges. So while I was doing these, Hairystar made this little redstone hub. He also did some work on this, and he was like trying to make a bathroom that had a lot of redstone features in it, and then he was doing something over here in the village, making a village like sort of army or something. I don't know what he was doing. So here we can see which projects I have done and which I haven't. So the only ones I haven't done yet are the escalator 4x4 vault door and missile silo. However, I did try the 4x4 vault door, but it went horribly wrong. So we'll go through the world and we'll have a little look at what we have. So we'll start over in this area. So this here, this wasn't on the challenge list, but I finally worked out how to make a sort of programmable combination lock. However, this isn't one that would require the button to be pressed in a specific order. It just requires specific buttons to be pressed. And see, the combination here, I think, yeah, was 2, 4. If we did that 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't even. Oh, that could be a problem actually. We'll come back to it. The problem is this: is the pistons are budded. So if I accidentally mess up here, yep, there we go. See, and now we've got a bud switch. That's the only negative of this design. I could have done blocks with torches, but then it would have required more redstone. But first of all, I have to put the blocks down, and then I put in the combination 2 and 4. Why didn't? Okay, I'm just not going to demonstrate this. This is not going well. Oh well. Actually, we could try it now. Yeah, now it works, and then you can reset it. Now, how it works is basically there's an AND gate, and there's like an AND gate and a OR gate built in this. So there's an AND gate so that when this block and this block are pushed forward, there are 2 separate signals that are sent into these redstone torches. When both are turned off, this can turn on and open the door. However, if either this one or this one is turned on, then it sends a redstone signal into this wire and turns it back on again. Or keeps it on if it was already on anyway. So that's how this basically works, and there's a full sort of shutdown mechanism when you pull the box back up. And like I said, the only downside is that it does cause the piston to be budded. Now here, I think Hairystar was trying to put the thing together to show off all the new features. This was supposed to be a B, but we couldn't work out how to make the letter B. He seems to have some sort of camera here. Anyway, so here, this is a failed project from about a year ago. I can't even remember what I tried to make. I think I was trying to make a automated sort of cobblestone generator, which would recycle which would recycle the lava that was used. However, unfortunately, it never really worked, and I never got round to working with it. Now here, I think I might have shown this before when I was doing a tutorial on double piston extenders. I don't even know if I even do a tutorial on double piston extenders, but I demonstrated like a sort of extendable lift and made this parkour puzzle where you have to sort of get around the place and get to the diamond. Bit of a sort of weird thing. I can't remember what this is, so we'll skip that. Item elevator, I did a tutorial on those a while ago. Now we're getting into the sort of stuff that this was all to do with. So, first of all here, one of the things that we tried to work out was how to make a double piston and triple piston extender. And I already knew the double piston extender for the sideways double piston extender right here, but I didn't know how to make an upward one. So that had a lot of problems. And then when we finally figured out how to do it, we then saw it as a challenge to try and make a double piston extender, which is a double piston extender on top of a double piston extender. And this is what we came up with. Now, they extend at different times, but retract at the same time, and you can actually climb up it if you time it right. Obviously I cannot, but you can. I did it once. It's difficult though, and it's extremely complex. How it works is you get your double piston extender at the bottom, and then the signal gets to here and goes back around to here, and then this torch goes through a monostable circuit to get the last little bit for the piston, for the retraction process. So then now we're actually getting into the projects that we had. So the first one that we actually did was the 4x4 vault. We didn't finish it, but we started it and then we gave up on it. So then after that, I did the fireplace door and electric chair for a prison. So go over here. These are the two things here. So first of all, there are no buttons on this. How this works is actually really clever. You go over here, place the torch, and the fireplace sort of moves out, and then you press the button. And when you press the button, it actually does relight the fireplace. And if you wanted to lock it up from the outside, you can do that. And it does light itself as well. Now, how that works, torch key hidden torch key input goes into a T flip-flop, the hopper dropper design. A shovel to get the 2 signal output, and then that goes into 2 pistons and 2 dispensers. Each has flint and steel, and that's how the relighting is done. Hairystar did the design for this room. I think it looks really nice. Yeah, I'm not really good at building interior stuff, so that's his job. This is an electric chair. It doesn't actually have any electricity because there's no electricity in Minecraft, but if you could please demonstrate. You take damage by suffocating on a block, basically. That's how it works. I just sort of came up with it in a minute. He's leaving a sign. We'll come back to it in a second. Now this was also not on the list of stuff, but this was the double piston extender that we were trying to come up with, because on a survival world we were doing, we wanted to have a light shutting system, a system to shut out light in this enchantment room we had. So we came up with the idea of a double door, but we didn't want loads of redstone everywhere, so we decided to come up with a gravel door, like FedEx Gaming design here, but we wanted to do it without using hoppers, droppers, comparators, furnaces. So we came up with this. It could be made a bit more compact, but this is just what we came up with, and this is how we made it in survival. The enchantment table was right here on the same level as the button. But yeah, I'm just going to go back over here then. I'm better at exterior than Redstone. Yep, he's much better at interior and exterior than Redstone, which is why we make a good team. So here, this, actually, let me see, what did we do next? I think we did, yeah, we did, it doesn't matter what order we did it, we'll go through everything. This is my favourite thing that we've done, because this was something I wanted to do for a while and never got around to it. There was, one of my favourite pieces of logic from Little Big Planet 2 was the selector, and I could make the counter, but I didn't know how to make the selector. And see, you can make the selector, and there's 2 different modes that the selector had, where there's one where you manually select different inputs. It's almost like a multiple input selector, and you can select different ones and it'll turn off all the others, or any other that you had on, and just activate that one. And that was just its standard mode. But it also had cycle mode, where it would cycle through its inputs in a specific order. And we were able to make that. Or I was able to make that. And it uses this counter system that the one and only Gaming came up with in his Redstone boot camp series. But then I added this area, and what this is, it's a weird little system where if this is turned on, then it sends a signal. However, when this one turns on, it sends a signal off here and puts the torch back on to re-lock this. So basically, when any button is, the first button is turned on, this torch comes off, and this wire turns off, and therefore we get our first number. I will demonstrate. It's supposed to be like a scoreboard, that's what we tried to come up with, so we get our first number. Now when we press it again, this redstone block obviously comes off, so therefore this torch turns on, this torch turns off, and then this one comes off. But then what you would expect to see is 2 lights. However, then we wanted to be able to turn that one off, and we did that. What happens is this torch turns off, as well as this one, and there's a torch in here. You can't see it really very well, but there's a torch in here, and that turns on and turns that back on, and I'll demonstrate. So what you see happens is that sort of moves along, and this process continues through the entire cycle until it gets to the end, and then nothing really happens. So you just hit reset, and all the redstone blocks are pushed back into their original place. Which I think is a really, really cool thing I came up with, and I think I made it very compact. Although I didn't come up with this bit, thanks to the one and only Gaming for that sort of concept. So here, probably the one I spent the longest on was a a counter. Now I did look up for like a stopwatch time thing. I did look up for a tutorial on how to build the first segment. And I just copied it over, and then I did this bit underneath, so that when this does a full cycle, this the sort of tens bit can go on, and it's it's accurate with time, unless there's a bit of lag in the world, then it does slow a bit. But so it counts up a consistent rate, but as you can see now it's starting to get a bit of lag because of the pistons moving around. And when we get to 19, it swaps to, when we get a 9 on here, it switches that one and moves it up one. And then we can stop it. The only thing I don't like about it is it takes 2 seconds to start and then 2 seconds to stop. It's not that big of a problem, and you can program it, so I can just hit this button until I get the number I want. So it works very well. Mumbo Jumbo did one like this, but instead of using glowstone and repeaters, he used comparators and cauldrons, which was a really, really interesting idea. The next thing that we came up with was a calculator input. Now we didn't want to make I didn't want to make the full calculator. I just wanted to make the input or user input for two digits. I have built 2 calculators before. I've never shown them before though. That might be something I have to do at some point. But they are quite good calculators that I've built. The first one wasn't so good, but it was a 4-bit addition and subtraction. Single digits, so the highest number you could get was 18, 9 plus 9, and obviously it didn't support negative numbers. It was pretty basic calculator, and it was quite big. The next one I made was much smaller, but supported 4-bit addition, 4-bit subtraction, 4-bit multiplication. So that was a big sort of improvement. The problem with this calculator, however, although it was much faster, I messed up from the beginning, and I didn't even realise this until I was going to start building the display. And well, when I realised, well, I don't really know how to build a binary to BCD converter. I found a tutorial, but it wasn't helpful because it just confused me even more, and it just went terrible. So I instead made a display that actually displays the answer in binary, the numbers you're inputting in binary. So you sort of just have to calculate it yourself. I've done a binary tutorial on this channel before, so if you want to go and check that out. The only thing I will note is that at the time I didn't realise you have to read binary from left to right. So if you go and, right to left, or right and read binary from right to left. So if you do go and do that tutorial, watch that tutorial, read it from right to left, because I did not. So how this works, I'll do a demonstration. You put in 5, for example, and we get the output of 5 in binary in slot A. This is slot B. And then when we hit add, it locks this half of the input selection and unlocks this half with a little AND gate, RS and all that thing. And then it keeps that data stored. Then if I wanted to add 5, then it would have the number 5, 101, inputted in this side as well. And then obviously it could go into the adder, which I could build here, then take that into a display. So that's how this works. So we're almost at the end of the video now, so only a couple more things to show you. This here. Now, what inspired me to build this was a video Mumbo Jumbo did on a labyrinth, and he did a very big one. I did like a smaller, more messier version of it, but it uses the same sort of concept, where you have a hopper type, which controls randomizers, which control T flip-flops, and each T flip-flop in my design controls 2 doors apart from one, which only controls 1. So I messed up somewhere and I don't really know where. But how this works, every 15 seconds, the hopper kind of changes, and all the rooms are identical. So your goal is to get to the other corner, the opposite corner to where you started. Now the thing is, you could have found the right room, but if all the doors are shut, you wouldn't have known you found the right room, which is what makes it even more trickier. Now, I think one more room further on, and we will have found it. If it'll hurry up. Oh, it just shut behind me. Wonderful. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, that's wonderful. And did that... Okay, well, it works. And now I'm completely lost. And now I'm back where I started. But, yeah, you would end up here. That's also hooked up to a randomizer door, so that can sometimes be shut as well, which is what makes it even harder. It's all controlled by this lever. It just locks the hopper timer with this redstone block and a piston. Right, okay, so the second to last thing I want to show you, actually no, third to last thing, because there's also something up there I want to show you. There's two different designs for this. This is a fence gate elevator, and it uses fence gates to work. So basically you would stand in here and it would move around, and it cycled around, and it took me ages to get working, but I did it. A lot of exits without saving, because I always did a test, but it would break something, so I didn't want it really to break anything. The only problem is, something I haven't fixed yet, is the fence gates do shut as they go around, and that's to do with the... Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, there we go. That's to do with a bit of redstone that I couldn't adjust or anything. I tried to, but then it would have meant I had to redesign everything. Or a large, significant chunk of the design would have had to be altered. And it's all because of this dust, because it powers this block, and when the fence gates go by this block, then they shut. And it's quite frustrating. So then I came up with this design, which doesn't have that problem. It's thinner, but taller. And this uses a triple piston extender and a triple piston... Well, two triple piston extenders on the top and the bottom. And I'll basically demonstrate how this works. So I can press this button, which activates that triple piston extender to call it down. And I can press this one to go up. And that's the slime block one. And it even goes back down by itself. Then the elevator will obviously appear, and then I can send it back down. Now I'll demonstrate the call function. And then there's the call down function. No, that was the wrong button. That one. Yeah. So it all works really nicely. It's extremely fast for what it does. The only thing is, this one wouldn't be multiple floors, which is the advantage of this one. You could use it to sort of cycle through multiple floors. I think the way pistons push, you could probably do 3 or 4 floors, and then but you couldn't go any further than that. So second to last thing, the final thing that we did on that list was the bomb defusal challenge, and I won't tell you how this is done, because maybe one day I'll issue it as a challenge to everyone. But basically the goal is to basically destroy that block, and then that starts a 60-second time, and you have 60 seconds to place one redstone torch somewhere on this circuit, which will allow this line to turn on, and push down that to stop the timer, because if all of the items get into... What was it? Oh yes, right, okay, so basically the idea was, oh yes, I had it shut off, but all of these items should actually be in here, and the idea was that when all the items go out, this obviously comes down, and therefore the TNT would explode, and that's basically how it would work. It's just a fun little challenge, and it's actually, the answer is extremely easy, but it's just not obvious. At least I don't think it is anyway. So the final thing I want to show you guys is something that I have planned to use in the God of War adventure map. When we start building Pandora's Temple, there's a point called the Challenge of Atlas, and in that challenge, I'll just take out you have to find the Amulet of Zeus and the Amulet of Hades. And they're two separate challenges themselves to go and find them. And then when you do, you put them on their pedestal, or in this case in droppers. And then you have to do a little thing where you have to try and get through the door. And it opens and shuts so fast that you have to use like a box in the game to and sort of get to this point. You kick it down and then quickly get on into the doorway in time. And how this is also very compact, and it is basically an item filter, so it won't accept any other items. And once that final item goes in, it extends the signal. Both go in at the same time, so they both turn off this AND gate at the same time. The piston can go forward, send out a short pulse to the door to open, and then close it. Now the pressure plate, basically what that does is basically send the signal into the two droppers. Then that's how they get fired into the hopper to then start the process of opening and shutting the door. These buttons are just for decoration. There's nothing special about them at all. As you can see, there's no redstone behind it. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little tour. Just a fun little video because I would have felt bad if I hadn't done a video this week. I'm trying to get back into sort of a habit of making videos. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.